What's up, gamers? Today I'm going to show you how I created this subscribe button in Adobe After Effects. Let's get started. Alright, first off I am going to create a new composition, and I'm going to make this composition 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to make this 10 seconds for the duration and hit OK. First thing I want to do is drop in some footage just for the background, so I can see what this button's going to look like with something in the background. Make this footage the right size. Alright, let's start by using the text tool. And I'm just going to type in subscribe, and I'm going to have that text selected, and I'm going to center it. And I'm just going to bring it down to the bottom here. And one thing I've noticed about this font that I use now is this eye in here creates kind of a cool little box. So I'm going to duplicate this layer and just do eye. And then I'm going to make this a lot larger. And what I've noticed is it kind of cuts off the corners, which I thought was kind of cool, as kind of like a little box sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is have this layer selected, hit R on a Mac for rotate. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, and I need to make this a little bit smaller, maybe like 600. That'll work. And I'm going to center it, and I'm going to move it behind the subscribe text. And then I'm going to, just so we can see this, I'm going to change this eye to black. That'll stand out nicely. Alright, now with this little box layer selected, I am going to give it a border. So let's choose our border color here. I'm doing kind of a lime green. Alright, so now with that layer selected, I need to bring up the pixels to, I don't know, about 10, maybe 12. That'll be cool. Let's move this up a little. And then I'm going to duplicate this subscribe layer. Don't forget to. And I want to change this to Helvetica bold. I'm going to bring this down. This font is still a little too large, like that, maybe 20. And then I'm going to center it. Cool. I'm going to change the color of this font. I want to make sure that it's the fill. I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to use the same green. That will work. One more thing, I'm going to duplicate this eye here, and with the bottom layer selected, I'm going to minimize the top layer so we can see what we're doing here. The bottom layer, I'm going to change the fill to the same green and hit OK. And then I'm going to go to Effect, Blur, Directional Blur, turn this 90 degrees, and then bring this blur up quite a bit, maybe like 80 or so. And I'm going to make this front layer visible again. So give us this kind of like a little bit of a green ray coming out the sides of it. That's pretty cool. That'll work. So now what we want to do is we want to animate this. So I'm going to do something real kind of simple here. I'm going to select these 4 layers for our little graphic, and I'm going to right click, go pre-compose, move all attributes, and hit OK. And now I'm going to minimize this back layer so we don't see it. So with this layer selected, I'm going to move forward on my timeline, maybe about, I don't know, 10 frames or so, and hit P. and this brings up my position icon option here. So I'm gonna hit this little stopwatch to add a keyframe, and I'm gonna go back to the beginning. And now I'm gonna use the arrow keys. I'm gonna hold shift and down to move this layer down out of the frame. So now that automatically added another keyframe so that when I move forward, our graphic's gonna show up and kind of just slide in from the bottom. And if we want, we can duplicate this. So I'm going to just select these two keyframes, copy, and now if we want, I'm going to go ahead and select these two keyframes and then right click, go to Keyframe Assistant, Easy Ease, and that'll kind of make it so that we technically ease into this transition, so it's not so abrupt with the movement. And that'll about do it. What you can do now is when you export, this is kind of an important part, is you select your layer and then go Composition, Add to Render Queue, and then on Output Module, if you click on Lossless, the main thing that you need to really remember is your video output under channels. If you select it as RGB, it won't have this alpha option on here, and you'll have a black solid background, so this won't show up transparent. In order to fix that, you need to select RGB plus alpha, and that'll make sure that this is in a transparent background, and then you'll be able to just drop this onto your video footage. That'll about do it for today. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and then let me know if you've got any questions or have any ideas on something you'd like to see done as far as design or video goes. Thanks. Have a great day.